All right, note to self, don't drink a matcha latte right before recording a video. And maybe find lighting where you can't see every imperfection, but we're all about authenticity here. Hey everyone, welcome back. My name's Kanchan. As you know, I am working on reinventing myself through style or fashion in a sustainable way. Um, so today we're actually going to focus on comparing two really sustainable sneaker brands. One is Allbirds and one is, I don't even know how to pronounce it, Veja or Veja. There's obviously a lot of physical differences between the two, but I'm focusing on that, but also like sustainability, when you can wear these shoes and just doing like an overall comparison of what makes the most sense. If you're thinking about which ones to buy, just like I am, I've already bought them, but I might return one or both if neither of them really fit my needs. So join along. Okay, so these are the Allbirds that I got. They are the Women's Tree Runner Go shoe. These set me back $120 US. Super cute. I was trying to find like neutral shoes that go with majority of my outfits. That can either work for like casual outfits, but sometimes if I want to wear something a bit more like fancy, I guess, but something that still works with sneakers, I was looking for shoes like that. So what I know about Allbirds is they really focus on innovation. They use natural materials like merino wool, eucalyptus tree fiber, and sugarcane based soles. They calculate the carbon footprint of every single pair of shoes that they produce, and then they offset it. So if you think about it from that perspective, each of the shoes that Allbirds makes is carbon neutral. And I'm just looking at my receipt and it said the carbon footprint was 4.83 kilograms of carbon dioxide emissions, which they offset. So that feels quite good. I got a size 8. I will tell you, I wore these ones when I got them, but I was wearing really thick socks. And they felt tight. And I even sized up. I'm typically like a 7.5 and I got an 8 because I feel like my feet grew a little bit during or after pregnancy, which I think is normal. But apparently these are ones that you can wear without socks as well. Although for today I've got really thin socks on, so when I try them on, hopefully they fit. Otherwise, if I want to keep them, I'll have to exchange them for a bigger size. All right, now to Veja or Veja. Okay, these are the ones that I got. Very cute. Definitely a different look than the Allbirds ones. These ones set me back $170, so $50 more expensive than the Allbirds. You can obviously see physical differences. I think, yeah, I got an 8 in these ones as well. I haven't tried these on at all yet, so we'll see what the fit looks like. And then what I do know about this brand is that they focus on traditional craftsmanship. They're really, really transparent. Their shoes are made in Brazil. They use wild rubber from the Amazon, organic cotton, and recycled plastics. And they also publish their full cost breakdowns, so you can kind of see like what their profit margins are. And then they also work with fair trade cooperatives, so really just ensuring that they are paying fair wages to folks that are part of the supply chain. What else? Okay, let's compare like in terms of look and comfort and or fit and stuff. So the Veja, I'm just gonna say Veja Allbirds, you can see that the Allbirds definitely look a lot more athletic. They're super lightweight. These ones are pretty light, but not as lightweight as these guys. These Allbirds, I don't think I would be able to get away with wearing with a bit more of a structured outfit. Whereas these ones, I feel like I would be able to. They just have a more classy and clean look. These ones I feel like will probably only be able to work for more casual outfits or like comfy, cozy type of situation. I'm gonna try these on, but let me see if there's something more that I want to dig into on these first. Okay, before I try them on, I want to kind of just sum up from a sustainability perspective what the comparisons are between these two brands. So Allbirds is really focusing on innovation, as I mentioned, and carbon reduction. Veja or Veja is focused on ethical labor, sourcing, and really, they say radical supply chain transparency. So if you think about it, all of those elements that I brought up are important parts of sustainability. What makes it tricky to decide which one is better from a sustainability perspective is that they focus on different things. So it's really up to you. Like when you're thinking about making sustainable choices when it comes to your fashion or your style, what are your aims? And it's a great question that I should ask myself as well. I've always thought about, sustainability in general, but sometimes when you have like a really general aim, it's hard to pinpoint specific actions that you can take. So I think this is something that I'm going to have to dig into more during my journey of really reinventing my style and my fashion sense and things like that, is what I want to focus on from a sustainability perspective. Yeah, stay tuned. Obviously, all of those are equally important, I think. Innovation, maybe not so much, because whether or not a brand is sustainable or not, innovation is something that a lot of companies focus on. And then, it can also be tricky with carbon reduction, because some companies will offset or like purchase carbon credits for the to offset their carbon emissions, but a lot of companies almost just greenwash their sustainability initiatives. I don't think that's the case with Allbirds. It's very clear that they are truly sustainable, not only from a carbon reduction standpoint, but just in terms of the materials they're using and things like that. One thing I forgot to mention is these are machine washable, so you can throw them in the washer if they get dirty. So yeah, I think that's that can be a little bit tricky. That's one tip I would share, is when you are looking at sustainable brands, check to make sure that they're not just greenwashing, or they're just not buying, or where they're not just buying carbon credits to offset their carbon emissions. Because it's like a really, I guess, cheap way to continue business as usual without actually making a positive impact on sustainability and the environment. With Veja or Veja, ethical labor, sourcing, supply chain transparency, I think those are super, super important and kind of different elements of sustainability. So, there's like environmental sustainability, social sustainability, economic sustainability. So I think it seems like Veja is focusing more on social sustainability, just based off my research, which is again equally important to environmental sustainability. So I think those are the things that I really admire, is the transparent and ethical supply chain that they've got going on. So stay tuned. I'm going to learn more and share more tips as I understand and do research. But these are the two that I got, and we're going to now try them on and see what the fit looks like and how they look on my feet. Okay, just because I introduced them first, we're going to try on the Allbirds. So I just threw on a really simple, basic outfit just to make it easier for me to understand what these look like, without too much of like a over display of what I'm wearing. So again, these ones felt tight when I wore them, but I was wearing them with thicker socks. So they definitely still feel like quite tight even with my really thin socks I'm wearing. So I would recommend going a size up, honestly, because these socks that I'm wearing are as if I'm not wearing socks at all. So even if you can wear these shoes without socks, I would recommend going a size up, at least for this specific model. But besides them feeling snug, they actually feel really comfortable. All right, let me adjust the camera here. Perfect. Okay, so you can see they look super cute. I got them to be quite neutral, quite simple, but just with a little bit of a pop. This is navy blue, which I don't typically wear that often, but honestly, I don't mind what these look like. So yeah, definitely more of an athletic look. I think they go fine with this outfit, but that's because I'm just wearing something super basic. They feel really lightweight. They've got a lot of support. So overall, I think I might keep these ones. Well, not these ones. I'm gonna have to get a different size, but I think I like them. Okay, next is Veja. All right. So let's get these guys on. The one thing that I didn't like is the shoes are, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but they're pretty, like, they're definitely off. This part is definitely off-white. And then they just gave like super bright white laces, and there's nothing else on this shoe that's bright white. So I feel like it's kind of a stark contrast, which you probably can't see in the camera. But in person, maybe I'm just being picky. I would probably get like an off-white lace if I cared a lot. Okay, so again, these are size 8, just like the Allbirds, and these fit much better. They don't feel as snug, but I think that's because the Allbirds are meant to feel like a sock almost. And because they're made of like more of like a I don't think it's not jersey, but like a more softer fabric, you can get away with a bit more breathability. But these ones feel quite comfortable, although they are more structured. So I feel like it's gonna take longer to break into them. But they feel good right now. They don't have as much arch support as these guys, I feel. You can't really see the inside, but there's a bit more arch support in comparison to these ones. But these definitely look really cute. Okay. So again, I decided to get like a more neutral pair that can go with a lot of different outfits. So I think you can't go wrong with like off-white, beige, black. But that's what these guys look like. They still have like a bit of an athletic look because of the holes on the front here, but I think these can definitely be worn with a bit more of a structured outfit. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to keep both of these shoes. I was really hoping I wouldn't like one of them because I didn't want to have to spend that much money. But just knowing that they're both sustainable brands, knowing that I could wear the Allbirds with more casual outfits, and I can wear these guys with more structured, more like fancy outfits, means that I feel like I'll be able to leverage both of them equally. So I'm hoping, I think that's a sustainable choice that I'm making. Not only are the shoes sustainable, but my choice in keeping both of them, I think, is sustainable because they're both going to be used for different occasions and different situations. I feel like it wouldn't have been a sustainable choice if they were both like athletic and lightweight and like to be worn with casual outfits, or if they were both more structured and to be worn with more upscale outfits. So I think I feel good about my decision. I'm curious what you think. Do any of you all have either of these shoes? And curious, what are the shoes that you wear that are from sustainable brands, or shoes that you're considering? I think maybe in a next video, I'll probably try and do outfits with each of these shoes to see what works and what doesn't. I'm gonna try and get away with testing out more structured outfits with the Allbirds. And if I can get away with it, then maybe I'll return the Vejas. And if I can't, then I'll keep them both. All right, thanks for continuing on with this journey with me. Hopefully next time my hair will be better. But all right, be sure to hit like, hit subscribe if you want to continue on my journey with me. And just overall, thanks for being here. Bye.